Okay, subject questions. Subject questions. You're asking for the subject. Let's see. I called Peter. Who did you call? If you're asking for this information over here, you see, I called Peter, okay? You have this sentence. If you want to ask about Peter, then how do we refer to a person? Who, right? So you bring it to the beginning. Who? Now the person who is doing the action is I. So if you're asking the question, it becomes you, right? Who did you call? And you look at this. This is in the past. Called is in the past. But if you use did for the question, then this comes back to its normal form, right? Remember this? So, who did you call? You're asking about Peter, you see? Now, Peter called me. Now, you're to ask about the subject, you see? Now, here we didn't ask about the subject is here. We're asking about the object. Here we are asking about the subject. So Peter called me. So how do you ask about Peter? Who called you? You see? And you don't need an auxiliary verb for this. Who called you? Not who did, you see? You don't need the auxiliary verb in this case. Who called you? Because who is the subject? Here who is the subject as well, you see? Okay? Okay, in the present and past simple tenses, remember these tenses, we do not use a helping verb. Do, does, did, after the question word. If the question word is the subject of the sentence. Okay, just like this example. The question word itself, look at this sentence, who called you? If you look at this verb, called, who is doing the action called? Who? Yeah, it refers to Peter, but the subject is who. Okay? The subject is who. So in this case, you don't need a helping verb. So instead of who did win the match, who won the match? Okay? Who won the match? Not who did win the match. What did happen last night? No. What happened last night? Because what is the subject of this question, you see? How many people did go to the party? No. How many people went to the party, you see? In the past, you see? In the present and past simple tenses. So this is past simple. One, happened, went. This is the past simple. So if the question word is the subject, you don't need a helping verb. Yes, if an object you need. Okay, so this is just for these tenses, present simple and past simple. Okay? For other tenses, then we have, for example, the verb to be or the verb have, right? Then you use them as helping verbs, okay? So only here, when you don't have those, then you don't add the helping verb, okay? It's not necessary. Actually, wrong would be to add it, right? Do you understand this difference?
Yes.
Here, you see a comparison. You're asking about the object. Jack called Teresa. Jack is the subject. Called is the verb, here in the past simple. Teresa is a person, right? But it's the object of called. So if you're asking about this, you will do like this. Who did Jack call? You see? Who refers to Teresa. Did Jack call? Okay, because who is the object? Jack is the subject, you see, that of this sentence. If you look at this question, what is the main verb? Call. Who is the subject of call? Jack call. Okay? Jack is the subject doing the action, no? So who is the object actually? Okay? Now, let's see this one. Jack called Teresa. So now let's ask about Jack. Right? So it's the same sentence, but now we're going to make a question about Jack. Jack called Teresa. So then we want to ask about the subject. We use who as a subject. Who called Teresa? No. Whom? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. But it's a little more old-fashioned. Yeah. To whom? Then you need a verb that goes with to. You call someone, you don't call to someone. You understand? Come with to. To whom did you give this? To whom? No, if you have a preposition, you need a M. To whom? To who? I think you cannot say to who. Yeah, that's okay. Who did you give it to? Yeah, like the relative clauses, you can put it in the front or in the end, the preposition. Okay, let me show this to you. So, to whom did you give it? For example, to whom did you give it? Who is the subject here in this sentence? Okay, what is the verb? What is the main verb? Give is the verb, right? Now, who is doing this giving? Who is doing the action? You, yes. You is the subject. Now, this one, whom is what? It's kind of an object, yes. Give it, it is also an object, and then whom is also indirect object. Okay, two objects. Okay, this preposition to can go like this. Who did you give it to? You see? You can also bring to the end of the sentence. Who did you give it to? Okay? Yeah. Then in this case, you can put whom, but it's a bit old style. A bit old style, okay? Huh? You can use. Whom did you give it to? Yeah. You can use it, but it's a little old style. Normally, nowadays, we don't say it like this, okay? Who did you give it to? Most situations, we use the most simple form, okay? But to who, I think, is not okay. To who did you give it to? No, I think it's not okay. I remember seeing the grammar book. There are some situations where you need whom, okay? I think this is one of them. Yeah. Okay, now let's see some prepositions. You see, it's this. Exactly what we were discussing. In informal or spoken English, when a question word needs a preposition, the preposition goes at the end of the question. At the end of the question means after the verb or after the verb plus object. Okay? Let's see. We don't use the preposition at the beginning normally in informal or spoken English. Informal you can. Yeah. So this is formal. Yes. This is informal, spoken. Okay? Let's see the examples. I played tennis with John. Now you want to ask with whom, you see? The formal way is with whom did you play tennis? But here is the informal spoken way. Who did you play tennis with? Okay, that's more informal, more common. Who did you play tennis with? The preposition goes at the end. Just like relative clauses, do you remember? Relative clauses, we can put the preposition in the beginning, it's also more formal. Or you can put it at the end. Okay?
I studied
Hmm?
English with my friend.
Then how do you translate it into a question? How do you make it a question? So, I studied in the past English with my friend. Now, I want to ask about the friend. How do I make it? I studied English with my friend. Who did you study English with? Yeah, you see? You have to do some of these, you have to practice this a bit. Yeah. Now let's ask about the I, like the subject. Yeah, how do you think I ask about the I? Yeah, one way you could do it is keep I as I. The other way is using I as you. Okay? Both ways technically would be correct, depending on what you want to, how you want to do it, no? But usually if you have a sentence like I am, the question is am I? Right? But sometimes you can say like I am, then how do you ask? You ask are you? Right? So both of them are okay. Here in these exercises, they are always changing I to you. So let's follow that. For example, let's ask about the I. Did you what? Study English with my friend, you see? You see? Do you understand how to do it? Can you ask about the English? Ask about the English. Which tense? Not tense. What? English is what? How do you ask about English? It goes back to those question words, no? When, why, which, what? Yes, what? Referring to English. English is a thing, like an object, okay? What? Now what? What did you study with my friend? You see? What did you study with my friend? The answer is English. I studied English, yes. Okay, how do you ask about the study? The verb. Okay, the study. How do you ask about the study? What studied? No. Yes, very good. Can you say that again? What did you do? Because studying is an action, so the verb we use is doing. Yeah, what did you do with my friend? Yeah. What did you learn? No, that's different. Then it's English. I want to ask about the action itself. What did you do? Okay? If you don't know the action, you use do. Okay? These are all the options. Okay? Very good test question.
Can we say with your friend because of I study English with my friend?
Yeah, you can say with your friend. Yeah, good. If we change, then it becomes your friend, no? Good. Correct. Who did you study English with? I studied English with my friend. Yes. Okay, you see? So, this you need to practice. I'll put it here as test questions. You see? Very good.
This question?
Yes. Do you understand this? I work for a multinational company. What? Send in the group? This? Okay, at the end. I played tennis. I work for a multinational company. Multi, this prefix, do you understand multi?
No.
Multi means many.
Not multi.
Multi or multi? Yes, upasagga. This multi or multi means many. So multinational or multinational means many nations, many countries. Okay? So I work for a multinational company, a company that is present in many countries. Now, you're asking about what company? You see, you're asking about the company. What company do you work for? You see the preposition for is put at the end in spoken English and informal English. If it's formal, then you could bring it to the beginning of the sentence, but it's unusual. We usually talk about sports. What do you usually talk about? You see, talk about. About is the preposition, it stays at the end, you see? We usually talk about sports. Okay, let's do one more of these. I think you need it. Can you give me a sentence, Rakitasila? Rakitasila? One sentence. Present simple or past simple?
Sport.
Anything?
What do you?
No, a sentence, not a question. Not a question, okay? Just a normal sentence. Come on, don't think so much. I? Okay, use another subject other than I. You? Place? You play. Play. Tennis. Again, no, Peri. I play tennis. Okay, something else.
Football.
Football, okay. You play football? No, as a... Yeah, not as a question. It's not a question. You cannot say you play football with whom. With whom do you play football? That's the question. You play football. Every day? Okay. You play football. You play football with Supabaso every day.
In the morning.
Okay, every day in the morning. Okay, now let's ask about you, the subject. So how would it be? You want to, let's say imagine you're lacking this word in the sentence. You understand? Imagine you don't have this information. How do you ask about it? Huh? Do you play? No. No.
But usually.
I want to ask about the subject. How do I do that? Who?
Who did you play with?
Why did? It's present. Who does? No.
Who does play?
Not who does.
Who do?
Does is the auxiliary verb, remember? If you're asking about the subject, you don't need an auxiliary verb.
Play.
Who?
Play.
Who play?
Play.
Who plays football with Supabaso? Supabaso every day in the morning. See, complete sentence, okay? All the information is there. Now ask about the action. Playing. How do I ask about it? Imagine I don't have this information. You do something, football with Supabaso. So how do I ask about this action? Yes. What do you do? What do you do? Because you don't know he plays, right? So what do you do with Supabaso every day in the morning? Okay? Okay. Now let's ask about football. Imagine you don't know it's football. How do you ask about it? You know it's you know he plays, you know it's with Supabaso every day in the morning. What do you play with Supabaso every day in the morning? Yes.
I'm not familiar
With what?
with
This?
Yeah.
What do you play
Last
with
time we had
Supabaso?
This test.
We had this already in some tests in the past.
No, like as subject, object.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, now you're asking about football. What? Football is what? It's like English, no, in the previous one. So what do you play? Okay, the answer is football. The answer in brief is football. You understand?
No need to say.
Yeah, just in brief. What is the information? Football. But the proper answer, you need to make a proper sentence. Then
The first, no?
this entire first sentence is the answer. Okay? But a short answer could be football. That's the information, right? You're asking about. Now, let's ask about Supabaso. How do you ask about Supabaso in this sentence? Supabaso is what we say who, right? For Supabaso. So who? Now it's in the present tense, play. So how do we use as a question? Do you play? Who do you play? Now with football or football with or what? Football with. Yes. Who do you play football with? Then, yeah, here it became a little, how would we say this? Who do you play football with every day in the morning? Who do you play football every day in the morning with?
No, with
I feel like with at the end is too far. Who do you play football with? This is perfectly okay. But if you want to add this information every day in the morning,
I think no need, no?
I think it's after with.
Uh,
That's the formal way.
quantity of time.
With whom is formal. With whom is formal. You can say that, but it's the formal way.
Wrong answer.
Yeah.
Who do you play football every morning with?
Both are acceptable, he thinks. Both, he thinks, are okay. Yeah, who do you play football with every day in the morning? Who do you play football every day in the morning with? With. Okay, let's keep it like this. Who do you play football every day in the morning with? Okay. Now let's ask about every day. Ask about the frequency. The frequency, right? How do I ask about this every day? How often? Very good. How often do you play football with Supabhaso? Sorry, not every day. Don't put again every day. In the morning. Yes. Okay. Don't put the answer in the question, right? Okay. How often do you play football? Now, in the morning, how do I ask about that? Ask about when, you see? So when, you could say when, or you can say at what time. You can even put what time. Okay, when or what time do you play football with Supabhaso every day? Okay? But you don't put in the morning because that's the answer. Okay, we did all the possibilities, you see? Then you can ask sometimes for two informations if you want in one question. For example, let's try once. Let's ask about the action and when. For example, let's say we don't know the action, we don't know play, and we don't know it's in the morning. We can use the action is what do you do, right? What do you do? This is how we ask about the action. And then when is like when do you do it, right? Then you can say what do you do and when do you do it? You can use and when. Yes. What do you do and when? Or what do you do when and what do you do? You know, you can use conjunctions like and to ask more than one thing. Like I think most natural here is like one way would be like this. What do you do with Supabhaso? In the morning, no, not in the morning, every day. And when do you do it? You see? Two questions together with a conjunction here, and, right? Then sometimes you can, if it sounds okay, you can sometimes put them like what and when do you blah, 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 blah. You understand? Sometimes you can do these things. What and when. Okay? Yeah, you can ask many things. What did you do and when did you do it and why did you do it and how did you do it? Okay? Okay? Okay, so this is important. This topic I think is important. What time is it? Okay. So this is another lesson we finished. Second lesson finished. Exercises you do by yourselves. Let's do a little. She is looking for a job. Or you want to ask about the job, you see? What is she looking? What is she looking for? What she is looking for. What is she looking for? Yes.
Because she shouldn't find
Sonia helped me with the boxes. You see, Sonia is underlined. This is called an underline. Underline, okay? Underline. Underline, no? It's a line under the word, so underline. Okay. Sonia helped me with the boxes. Who did you help? Who did help you? Who helped you? Which one do you think? The last one. Who helped you with the boxes? Yes, because it's the subject. If you're asking about the subject, no helping verb, no auxiliary verb. Yes. I asked John to bring music for the party. Now we're going to ask about John, you see. Who did you ask to bring music for the party? Or who asked you who you asked? Who did you ask, right? It's easier to choose the answer than to write it, right? I'm waiting for my husband. Now we're going to ask about the husband. Who you're waiting for? Who are you waiting? Who are you waiting for?
Who are you waiting for?
Who are you waiting for? Yes. Okay? So this is important. Quite useful in English, especially in conversations we make questions. Okay? So you should practice. Come to testenglish.com and practice, okay?